Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you well from wherever you're watching this channel. It seems as if Mudavadi has given up on diplomacy struggles. Reason being, Mudavadi decided to share a statement which has gotten so many people talking. But first and foremost, before I take you through the video, let me take you through what the Standard newspaper delivered. Now, many of you knew very well that because Ruto and Gideon Moi had come together in a broad-based arrangement, the Standard was going to be lenient. But take a look at this. The daily posting, the Standard newspaper has titled in its headline, has written something about Mudavadi, and they are saying the weak need diplomat. Remember, the weak need diplomat. Now that is Mudavadi who's being referred to as a weak need diplomat. Now this is because of the recent mistreatment of Kenyans in Uganda and Tanzania. Those mistreatments have exposed the Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs CS Musalia Mudavadi as one of the weakest handlers of the crucial docket ever since the Kenya Kwanza regime took over. Very weak. According to them, they think Musalia Mudavadi is very weak. Now, let me bring you up to speed with certain developments. One, Bob Njagi has promised there's going to be demonstrations on the borders of Kenya and Tanzania to try to fight for the people who are held in Tanzania, people who are still imprisoned or in custody because of the electoral-related violence. Again, there are people who are, captured in Uganda. Of course, Kenyans are still suffering in Uganda and Tanzania. So they are going to organize a mass demonstration for that, and they'll be targeting the borders. Now, let me take you to Musalia Mudavadi. But to respond to Musalia Mudavadi's statements on him, to the statements on Musalia Mudavadi, first and foremost, I wanted to pay attention to this video. This is what Musalia Mudavadi said.
You step beyond Kenya's borders. It's not the Constitution of Kenya that applies. You enter a sovereign state with different regulations and different laws. My prayer is that our young people, as they enjoy their freedom, please be cautious. It is absolutely important. We don't want to lose any Kenyan.
So based on Musalia Mudavadi, this is not the first time he is making these comments. There's a time he made those comments when he was dealing with the issue of Vietnam. Remember that Kenyan who was, Ann, I think the name is Ann, that Kenyan who was arrested in connection with drugs. So that time, Musalia Mudavadi delivered a similar statement, telling people that the moment you walk into another territory, you should know that the lands of that country are the ones that work. The laws in that country are the ones that work, not the laws in the country you've come from. Now, what does that mean? It means if you step foot in South Africa, you should know that the laws in South Africa are the ones you must abide by. If you go to Nigeria, then you must abide by Nigerian laws. If you go to China, the same. You go to US, you go to Russia, Ukraine, and the like. So, but there's the issue of East African community, which is a bit different because Jumuiya ya Mataifa, you call it the Jumuiya ya Mataifa, the three, the neighboring nations here, which form the East African bloc, because the dream of our forefathers was to have a free movement of people, goods, and services. That was what the likes of Julius Nyerere, Jomo Kenyatta, the founders, that is what they had in mind. People like Benjamin Mkapa. But whatever is happening now is totally different from that dream. That's the main reason why you find that Musalia Mudavadi is telling Kenyans that you are on your own. If you export activism to Tanzania, you should know that Tanzanian laws will apply there with your activism. If they don't like it, of course, you're going to be penalized. If you export the same to Uganda, you're going to face the same music. To Sudan, to Somalia, to Ethiopia, to Egypt, to Djibouti, to Rwanda, DRC, you will face the music there. So this is a Musalia Mudavadi who is giving up on these issues, telling Kenyans to be wary of your movement, to make sure that you protect yourselves. We as the government cannot protect you anymore. That's why you find that the Standard had to come out guns blazing and said the weak need diplomats. That is Musalia Mudavadi, ladies and gentlemen. So what do you think about Mudavadi's comments regarding what do you think about the comments from Mudavadi regarding the situation that befell Bob Njagi, Nicholas Oyo, and other people in Uganda and Tanzania? Remember, we have our Kenyan colleagues in Tanzania who are still being held. They have not been released. There are people who have been shot dead. So we are aware about those details, because in fact even the UN confirmed that that's what happened. There are people who are shot, died. There are people who have been buried in mass graves. So all these things have been confirmed by the UN. So ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about Musalia Mudavadi's style of handling diplomacy? Do you like it or do you dislike it? Just tell us below in the comment section. What is your take on Musalia Mudavadi's diplomacy standard? So perhaps if you're watching this video and you've not subscribed, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Until you catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.